दार्विक गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार अशुतर शुतश्मार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज शिल गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार अशुतर शुतश्मार भक्ति वेदांत साई महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार अशुतर शुतश्मार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार अशुतर शुतश्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु महाभागवत शिल गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। नित्याल विश्व शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानु गौड़िया गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ प्रसाद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट विरक्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जाय। श्री मुन देवी गंग देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त. Is today any special day? Also, Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajana-rahasya ki Jai. I don't see anything. Okay. जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Okay, we'll do quick Mangala Charan and then see who has joined. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः. श्रीसिद्धान्त सरस्वती विदितो गौडीय गुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभात गगने योगोरसंकीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलोदरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवनिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिकाहनसुखां प्रदत्प्रभुं तं भजे. वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजां राधारससुधानिधिम्. नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोरपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं. स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भव गौरगदाधरपक्षचरम् शृणु गौरगदाधरचारुकथं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुम् तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवी त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताश्चकामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीस्वरूपराय सङ्गहर्षशेषघोषणं शिक्षणाष्टकाख्य कृष्णकीर्तनाय कपोषणं प्रेम नाम मात्र विश्वजीवनायकसंभरं प्रेमधाम देवमेव नौमि गौरसुन्दरम् प्रेमोद्भावितहर्षैर्योद्वेगदन्यार्तिमिश्रितम् लपितं गोरचन्द्रस्य भाग्यवाद्भिर्निषेव्यते प्रभुर्शिक्षाष्टक श्लोक जय पढ़े सुने कृष्णे प्रेम भक्ति तार बारे दीने दीने. Whoever reads or hears the Lord Shikshashtak verses will find their prem bhakti to Krishna growing more and more each day. Let's recite the Shikshashtak now. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदां पूर्णामृतास्वादनम् सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजायते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवमे दृशामिह जनिनानुरागा तृणारपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतार्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनूज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पारपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लीषवापाररतं पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनान्मार्माहतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परा. All right, let's see who has joined us. Jai Shri Shikṣāṣṭaka ki Jai, Jai Shri Chaitanya Shikṣāṣṭaka ki Jai, Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Dandavat pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Nitai Mukesh ji, Sharan Prada Prabhu, and on YouTube and Facebook, Vidyalala Sadidi, Ganga Mataji, and I don't know who else is there. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. Maybe Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Indira Mataji, uh, Vaseshwari Mataji, maybe. I don't know. Write a comment and I'll see who you are. Dandavat pranams. Also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi and Jayade Prabhu, Revati Didi, Haribo. So we are continuing on with, we just finished going over the Shikshashtaka verses, all the verses in Sri Bhajana-rahasya that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes many verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and other places, on the topic of, well, going, that which, the verses, different verses that illuminate each one of the 7 excellent results one gets from chanting Krishna Nam in the first verse. So Chaita Darpanam Arjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, like that. So then since we already read such a big part of the first section of the first yam in Bhajana-rahasya, I thought we might as well just finish it because I don't think it would take that long. And yesterday, right when we were in the middle of the program, I had to leave for a meeting, and so yeah, we didn't get very far yesterday. But actually, we might not get very far today either because I was having problems with my mic, and we're starting very late today. But as you know, with this program, we're not in any kind of rush. I'm seeing this program as more like a daily sadhan thing rather than something we're trying to get through. So, um, and actually, something I wanted to read, I actually haven't read it yet myself. I read it many years ago, back in, I don't know, I think it was before we did the songbook. So it was like before 2013. But by Janti Mala Mataji, she sent me something from Srila Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote on, I think it had something to do with when we read a book, not just reading it passively, but to actually somehow make the knowledge our own. And the reason why this, I just asked her about it where I could find it, and she told me it's in the foreword to Krishna Reality, the Beautiful. They quoted from they included Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's excerpts from, I think, Krishna Samhita. And so I asked her for it. I asked her for the quote because I can't say too much right now. But sometime in the future, we have a plan of doing a full-on immersion, like retreat course thing that be like full day programs on a particular topic. I don't want to tell too many details because we're not making an official announcement yet. But when we're talking about the program, there's a discussion of like how to make it so that people aren't just passive listeners and observers, but that they actually are engaged with it. And so then we're thinking about writing, and I was thinking maybe there'd be some nice, inspiring things that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in this. So do you want to just read this? I think this would be relevant for our programs now also. Yeah, let's read this and then we can begin. So, yeah, this is the foreword from Krishna Reality, the Beautiful by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I wonder where this is from, though. Does it mention? This is from an English lecture that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur delivered in 1869 at Dinajpur, West Bengal. Okay. We love to read a book which we have never read before. We are anxious to gather whatever information is contained in it. And with such acquirement, our curiosity stops. This mode of study prevails amongst a great number of readers, who are great men in their own estimation, as well as in the estimation of those who are of their own stamp. In fact, most readers are mere repositories of facts and statements made by other people. But this is not study. Just becoming a mere repository of facts and statements made by other people. That's not study. The student is to read the facts with a view to create, and not with the object of fruitless retention. Students, like satellites, should reflect whatever light they receive from authors. They should reflect whatever light they receive from authors, and not imprison the facts and thoughts, just as the magistrates imprison the convicts in the jail. Wow, what a powerful sentence. I'm just going to reread that. Students, like satellites, should reflect whatever light they receive from authors, and not imprison the facts and thoughts, just as the magistrates imprison the convicts in the jail. Thought is progressive. The author's thought must have progress in the reader, in the shape of correction or development. He is the best critic who can show the further development of an old thought. But a mere denouncer is the enemy of progress, and consequently of nature. Progress certainly is the law of nature, and there must be corrections and developments with the progress of time. But progress means going further or rising higher. Progress means going further or rising higher. The shallow critic and the fruitless reader are the two great enemies of progress. We must shun them. The shallow critic and the fruitless reader. The reader who's only just trying to retain the thoughts and ideas, but not actually reflect them. The true critic, on the other hand, advises us to preserve what we have already obtained. Preserve what we already have obtained, and to adjust our race from that point where we have arrived in the heart of our progress. He will never advise us to go back to the point whence we started, as he fully knows that in that case, there will be a fruitless loss of our valuable time and labor. He will direct the adjustment of the angle of our race at the point where we are. This is also the characteristic of the useful student. He will read an old author, and will find out his exact position in the progress of thought. He will never propose to burn a book on the grounds that it contains thoughts which are useless. No thought is useless. Thoughts are means by which we attain our objects. The reader who denounces a bad thought does not know that a bad road is even capable of improvement and conversion into a good one. One thought is a road leading to another. Thus, the reader will find that one thought, which is the object today, will be the means of a further object tomorrow. Thoughts will necessarily continue to be an endless series of means and objects in the progress of humanity. The great reformers will always assert that they have come out not to destroy the old law, but to fulfill it. Valmiki, Vyas, Plato, Jesus, Muhammad, Confucius, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they all assert the fact either expressly or by their conduct. Our critic, however, may nobly tell us that a reformer like Vyas, unless purely explained, may lead thousands of men into great trouble in time to come. But dear critic, study the history of ages and countries. Where have you found the philosopher and reformer fully understood by the people? The popular religion is fear of God, and not the pure spiritual love which Plato, Vyas, Jesus, and Chaitanya taught to the respective peoples. Whether you give the absolute religion in figures or simple expressions, or teach them by means of books or oral speeches, the ignorant and the thoughtless must degrade it. It is indeed very easy to tell and swift to hear that absolute truth has such an affinity with the human soul that it comes through as if intuitively, and that no exertion is necessary to teach the precepts of true religion. But this is a deceptive idea. It may be true of ethics and of the alphabet of religion, but not of the highest form of faith, which requires an exalted soul to understand. All higher truths, though intuitive, require previous education in the simpler ones. That religion is the purest, which gives us the purest idea of God. How then is it possible that the ignorant will ever obtain the absolute religion, as long as they are ignorant? So we are not to scandalize the Savior of Jerusalem or the Savior of Nadia for these subsequent evils. Luthers, instead of critics, are what we want for the correction of those evils by the true interpretation of the original precepts. The true interpretation of the original precepts. God gives us truth as he gave it to Vyas when we earnestly seek for it. Truth is eternal and inexhaustible. The soul receives a revelation when it is anxious for it. The soul receives a revelation when it is anxious for it. The souls of the great thinkers of the bygone ages, who now live spiritually, often approach our inquiring spirit and assist it in its development. Thus, Vyas was assisted by Narad and Brahma. Our Shastras, or in other words, books of thought, do not contain all that we could get from the infinite Father. No book is without its errors. God's revelation is absolute truth, but it is scarcely received and preserved in its natural purity. We have been advised in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.14.3 to believe that truth, when revealed, we have been advised in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.14.3 to believe that truth, when revealed, is absolute. But it gets the tincture of the nature of the receiver in course of time, and it is converted into air by continual exchange of hands from age to age. New revelations, therefore, are continually necessary in order to keep truth in its original purity. We are thus warned to be careful in our studies of old authors, however wise they are reputed to be. Here we have full liberty to reject the wrong idea, which is not sanctioned by the peace of conscience. Interesting. Vyas was not satisfied with what he collected in the Vedas, arranged in the Puranas, and composed in the Mahabharata. The peace of his conscience did not sanction his labors. It told him from inside, "No, Vyas, you can't rest contented with the erroneous picture of truth which was necessarily presented to you by the sages of bygone days. You must yourself knock at the door of the inexhaustible store of truth from which the former sages drew their wealth. Go up to the fountainhead of truth, where no pilgrim meets with disappointment of any kind." Vyas did it and obtained what he wanted. We have all been advised to do so. Liberty, then, is the principle which we must consider as the most valuable gift of God. We must not allow ourselves to be led by those who lived and thought before us. We must think for ourselves and try to get further truths which are still undiscovered. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:21-23, we have been advised to take the spirit of the Shastras and not the words. We're advised to take the spirit of the Shastras and not the words. The Bhagavat is therefore a religion of liberty, unmixed truth, and absolute love. The other characteristic is progress. Liberty certainly is the father of all progress. Holy liberty is the cause of progress upwards and upwards in eternity, an endless activity of love. Liberty misused causes degradation. And when he's saying liberty, he means this swatantrata, right? This independence. Yeah, so liberty misused, svadhinata also, right? Yeah. So no, not svadhina. Anyways, whatever. So liberty misused causes degradation, and the Vaishnav must always carefully use this high and beautiful gift of God, of our own independence, free will, liberty. The spirit of this text goes far to honor all great reformers and teachers who lived and will live in other countries. The Vaishnava is ready to honor all men without distinction of caste because they are filled with the energy of God. See how universal is the religion of the Bhagavat. It is not intended for a certain class of Hindus alone, but it is a gift to man at large, in whatever country he is born, and in whatever society he is bred. In short, Vaishnavism is the absolute love binding all men together into the infinite, unconditioned, and absolute God. May peace reign forever in the whole universe in continual development of its purity by the exertion of the future heroes who will be blessed according to the promise of the Bhagavat with powers from the Almighty Father, the Creator, the Preserver, and the Annihilator of all things in heaven and earth. So yeah, this is from a lecture delivered in 1869. Very interesting, huh? Wow. I need to read this again. But okay, so let's begin our program. Oh, Haribo Yashoda Mataji. Nitai Mukeshji, Haribo. Okay, so now let's go to Bhajana-rahasya. Okay, so after Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains chanting the holy name completely cleanses the self, sarvatma snapanam. He gives this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, second to the last chapter, at the very end of the chapter. Bhagavan Sri Hari himself enters the heart of a devotee who describes his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so on, or who hears his glories, and he destroys all the darkness of the sins present there. Upon entering the heart of the jiva, the Supreme Lord destroys his offenses, impediments, duplicity, and material desires, just as the sun drives away darkness or a powerful wind scatters the clouds. This cleanses the mere-like hearts of those who take shelter of Sri Krishna's name, and very quickly they attain their pure transcendental forms. Shruta Anubhuta Jata Anartha Samyog Shri Krishna Kirtane Shab Hoito Viyog. Jai Rup Vayute Megha Shurja Tamanashe Chitte Praveshya Dosh Ashesha Vinashe. Krishna Namashaya Chitta Darpanamar Jan Ati Shigra Labhe Jeev Krishna Premadhan. And now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives two verses from Krishna Sanghita. Sorry, from Krishna Namashtak. My mind's somewhere else right now. Yeah, from Krishna Namashtak, the last verse. The last verse, and then he'll also give the second verse. So, Let's recite this. And let's just, I just want to, I always like doing this over and over again until it actually sticks. But just opening this up. Okay. So here. Okay, so this Bhajana-rahasya begins with Pranam to Sri Gaurangadev, the deliverer of Kali Yuga. Then a few verses about the unsurpassed glories of Harinam. And then after it tells the glories of Harinam, there's the gradual development of bhakti, Shraddha to Prem. And yeah, Adao Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya, that verse. And then, but you might reach this high stage of, you might even get to bhav, but still, if you fall into bad association, then you will stray from the path, and who knows how long it will take till you come back. And so, therefore, he gives two verses, very strong verses about the imperative of rejecting asat sangha at whatever stage you are at, in the beginning, at the mature stages of bhajan, everywhere. And then he explains the power. Okay, so now we're starting from the beginning. And he gives this verse, which we've been reciting every day for a while. Tam nirvyajam bhajagunananitim by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, about the power of namabhas. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he tells the methodology of Śikṣāṣṭaka. It's not just some verses that we recite, but it's actually a whole practical process. There's a way to actually apply Śikṣāṣṭaka in your life. There's a sequence. He uses the word sequence 7 times in 10 verses. So it really emphasizes how we have to follow the sequence. First starting with the first verse. And then when you become proficient in that, then when you spend some time at the first verse, then you'll become proficient in the second. And then in the first 4 verses, then by really focusing and meditating and practicing the first 4 verses, then you'll come to the 5th verse where you will accept your siddha deha, and then that's the stage of ruchi. And then from that point on, you very quickly make lots of progress, shooting upwards, when at the stages of ruchi. And then at asakti, that's when you actually get qualification for your swarup. And he explains this whole process. And this is all related to Śikṣāṣṭaka. So then he gives illuminations on the first verse of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka, Chaitya Darpana Marjanam Bhava, which we've been going over for, I think it was like 8 or 9 days. We went through these verses. And then further glories from Śrī Krishna Namashtak, that's what we're going through right now. Just 2 verses, verse 8 and 2. And then Vedic evidences for Nam Tattva from the Rig Veda, 3 verses he gives from the Rig Veda. And then Mahaprabhu's injunction and the efficacy of faithful chanting. It's from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Mahaprabhu's instructions to everybody about chanting a fixed number of rounds and you can chant it in any situation, any condition. And then some practical instructions for japa about what the bead should be like, how we chant, and then also, so that's like externally, and then internally also, how we need to fix our minds and purify it. And he gives like 5 different steps about how we can gain perfection in mantra. And then he gives the esoteric meaning of the Mahamantra. I think it was from Gopal Guru Goswami, who explains the very confidential, deep meanings of each pair of names in the Mahamantra, like how it relates to Radha and Krishna's pastimes. And then concluding affirmations of Nam Kirtan supremacy. I don't remember what those verses were, but anyway, some glories of the holy name, I guess. And then finally, the last section of the first chapter of First Sadhana of Bhajana-rahasya. So the end of each yam in Bhajana-rahasya. Like Bhajana-rahasya is divided according to the 8 periods of the day, and at the last verse of each chapter is the meditation for that time period of the day. Of what are Radha and Krishna, what are Shishi, Radha, and Krishna doing at this time of the day? So he gives a verse from Govinda Lilamrita, and then he also writes his own Bengali uh yeah explanation or whatever song. He writes a little song for each for the Ashtakaliya Lila. So that is the first chapter of Bhajana-rahasya. We went through this yesterday, but I always love going through these things again and again, just so that it really sticks. So now, Krishna Namashtak. So there's this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami, Naradvino Jivanam, Sudhormi Niryasa Madhuri Puram, Tam Krishna Nama Kamam Spurame Rasane Rasena Sada. So, Narad Vinod Jivana. What does Uj Jivan mean? Let's look that up in a dictionary. Uj Jivan. And also, I don't know what pura means. Does pura mean like the abode or abode of nectar or something? I mean, abode of sweetness. Madhuri pura. Let's see. Okay. First, we're looking Uj Jivan. Think in the Bengali book it said Sanjivan. Sanjivan's like what gives life. Ujivan means reviving, restoring to life, come to life, bringing to life again. Okay, so it's not just oh life of Naradzvina, but oh you who bring life to Naradzvina. You like make Naradzvina come alive. That's what it seems like. So Naradvino Jivana. O Nam, O crest of the waves upon the transcendental ocean of nectar. The word ocean isn't really here, but I guess if there's waves, you can imagine an ocean. But it says Sudha Urmi, so that's the waves of Sudha, of nectar. And Niras means the extract, or like the essence, extracting the essence of Madhuri Pura. What's Pura mean here? That's what I wanted to look up. Okay, 1 second. Pura. Pura means filling. Okay, yeah, we know that. Filling, making full, fulfilling, satisfying, the act of filling, the swelling or rising of a river of the sea. Interesting. It's the swelling or rising of a river or of the sea. I wonder if that's related. A large quantity of water, a flood or a stream. I think this is the context here. It's the flood or stream. It also means like an abundance, high degree, especially in the composition or at the end of a compound. This is a compound here. And so when it comes at the end of a compound, it really gives that sense of abundance, high degree, a large quantity of water. Okay. So I guess that's why it's mentioned, the word ocean is mentioned here. Okay. So, O crest of the waves upon the transcendental ocean of nectar. But, the word madhuri and niryas wasn't really translated here. Niryas is the essence, extract, and madhuri, sweetness. How did we translate it in the songbook? I think I'm going to change this translation. Let me just open up we looked at this yesterday and then I got that call. I had to leave all of a sudden. So we didn't finish looking at this. Just opening up the songbook. This is the Namashtak chapter that we're going to include in the upcoming edition of Bodhiya Gita Gucha. Okay. But I think I want to update this translation also. This I didn't really look at these Sanskrit verses so carefully. So Narad Vino Jivana. Oh, you who are like waves of essential nectar in the ocean of sweetness. That's also, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna have to work on that. Oh, Krishnam. And then it says kamam. Kamam means of your own sweet will, your own desire. Spurame. Spura means manifest, appear, manifest. Me means on my, rasane, on my tongue. Rasena, with a ras. Sada, always. So, of your own sweet will, of your own volition, of your own desire, please always, sada, always, spura, manifest, me rasane, on my tongue. And the word ras was not, rasena wasn't translated. But yeah, with the ras. I actually don't know how that fits exactly, but with the ras. Okay. And so now there's a song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Narad Muni Bajai Bina Radhika Ramana Name Namayamani Udita Hoy Bhakat Gita Same. Says the great sage Narad plays his veena, which vibrates the name Radhika Raman, and the holy name immediately appears amidst the devotees singing. Wait 1 second. Just, okay. Haribo Champak Mataji. Radhe Radhe. Okay. When the Amiya Dhara Varishe Ghana Shravana Jugale Giya Bhakat Jana Saghane Nache Bhoriya Panahiya. When the current of nectar of the holy names of the Lord streams profusely and enters both ears, the devotees dance continuously, their hearts filling with joy. Madhuri Pura Asava Pushi Matai Jagata Jane Keho Bakande Keho Banache Keho Mate Mane Mane. The stream of sweet nectar maddens the people of the universe. Some weep, some dance, and others become fully intoxicated within their minds. Oops, I lost my spot. 1 second, let me change this. Okay. Panchavadana narade dhori. Okay, sorry. Panchavadana narade dhori. Premera saghana rola. Kamalasana nachiya bole. Bolo bolo hari bolo. The five-headed Lord Shiva, embracing Narad, roars repeatedly out of prem, while he who sits upon a lotus flower, Lord Brahma, dances enthusiastically, and he calls out, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Bol, Hari Bol. Sahasranana Parama Sukhe Hari Hari Bolika Ay Nama Prabhave Matilo Vishwa Nama Rasa Sabe Pai. Thousand-headed Lord Shesh, feeling supreme happiness, he sings Hari Hari. By the influence of the holy name, the entire universe becomes maddened, and everyone tastes Amarasane Spuri Puraloyamar Asha Shirupapade Jachaye Iha Bhakati Vinodadasa. This servant Bhakti Vinod prays at the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami. He says, "O Rupa, please may the holy name of Sri Krishna fulfill all my desires by manifesting upon my tongue." Shri Krishna Nam. Rasane, remember Rasane means on the tongue. Spuri, may it manifest, may it appear on my tongue, by which Puralo Amar Ash. Amar, my Ash, all my hopes, all my desires, all my aspirations will Puralo, will become fulfilled. All right, so that is that verse. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this Bengali verse here. Let's see, how does he translate it? Muni bina ujjivan sudharmi niryas madhurite paripurna Krishna namochvas. She nama anargala amara rasane nachuna raser saha e vanchamane. Okay, so this is basically a translation. So what's uchvas? Uchvas means like overflowing, I think. So the overflowing of Krishna Nam, complete overflowing of Krishna Nam, which is replete with in sweetness. The essence, the extracts, the essence of the sweetness, the waves of nectar. I don't know how to make all these words fit together. That's Krishna Nam. That overflowing Krishna Nam is what gives life to the Muni or Narad Muni's Vina. So She Nam Anargala Amara Rasani. What does Anargala mean? Anargala. Anargala means unrestrained, plentiful, profuse, continual, incessant, uninterrupted, unrestrained, incessant. Okay. So may that name, unrestrained, unimpeded, may it just incessantly, uninterruptedly, continually, profusely, nachun. Nachun means may it dance. Raser saha, that means with ras. E vanchamane, this is the desire of my heart. The desire of my heart is that the name may dance with ras on my tongue, completely unimpeded, without any restriction, unrestrained, just may dance wildly on my tongue, that nam, which is overflowing. It's filled with sweetness, the extract of sweetness. The waves of this nectar of Sri Krishna Nam are filled with the extract of sweetness, and it gives life to Narad's Vina. Something like that. So that is the first verse, it's the last verse of Namashtak. And now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes the second verse of Namashtak. As always, I didn't get a chance to look at this beforehand, so I'm just going to try to figure out all on the spot. So the second verse of Sri Krishna Namashtak states, Jaya Namadheya Muni Vrinda Geya Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krite Tvamanadharadapi Managudiritam Nikhilo Gratapa Patalim Vilumpasi. So Jaya Namadeya. Namadeya is what is Adheya is like, I think it just means like Hari Nam, like forgot, I looked this up a long time ago. I remember when we were working on this. Basically, it just means Oh Hari Nam, though. So Jaya Namadeya, oh glories to you, oh Nam. And then Muni Vrindageya, oh you, oh Krishna Nam, who is sung by the Munis, by the hosts of sages, the great sages. Geya means you're sung by them. Jana Ranjanaya, you are the delight. Yeah, unto you who are the delight of the people. And I think my Gurudev, what does he say? Does he say the people of Raj? Sometimes he'll translate Jana as Rajajan. But anyways, you delight the Jana, which means the people, or it can mean the devotees, or it can mean the residents of Vrindavan, Rajajan, means all of those things. Param Akshara Krite. And you have taken the form, the Akriti. You've taken the form, oh, you who have taken the form of Param, of the best Akshara, of the best syllables. What does it say? To delight the devotees? Okay, Jana Ranjanaya means for the purpose or to delight the devotees or the Jana, the people. You have taken the form, what does it say? You have appeared in the form of transcendental syllables. Akriti. You've taken the form of the akshara of syllables, but what syllables? Param's akshara, the supreme, the best of all syllables. Tvam anadaradapi. If you are even without any respect, anara. We know the word adar, we just went over that word, and anadar is the opposite. So the opposite of respect. If you are chanted, and then udiritam means uttered. Manag means even once. Sorry, if you're uttered once, and then api means even anadarad, even disrespectfully, even without any regard or still. So that's like referring to namabas, right? Still, Niki logra tapa patalim vilumpasi. I think vilumpasi means something like destroys. It completely destroys. Vilumpasi. And patalim is like the heaps, the masses of ugra. Ugra tap. Ugra means fierce. Tap means suffering. And nikila, all the different types of fierce, all the massive. Nikila means like the entirety of one of the patalim, of the heaps and masses, the mountains of ugratap, of intense suffering for that person. Even if that person chants you just without any honor or respect, even just once. So even then, you destroy their entire masses of intense suffering. Ugratap, vilumpasi. You destroy all that. Wow, what a powerful verse. Okay, now let's look at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song on this verse. Actually, no, first we'll look at what does he say? The Bengali here. So he says, Jiva Shiva la, sorry, Jiva Shiva lagi paramakshara akar. Muni Vrinda Gai Shraddha Kori Anivar. Jai Jai Hari Nam Akhilo Gratap. Nasha Koro Hela Gane E Boro Pratap. Okay, so Jiva Shiva lagi paramakshara akar. So for the Jivas, Shiva means auspiciousness. Yeah, Shiva is auspicious, and lagya means for the purpose of the Jiva's auspiciousness. Param akshara akar. You are you've taken the form of the supreme syllables. Param akshar. And the munis, the groups, the hosts of munis, they sing, Gai Shraddha Korea. They sing with Shraddha. They sing faithfully and anivar, without any interruption. They sing you. They sing. They sing. Yeah, they sing you. O Nam. Jai Jai Harinam Akilo Gurutap. Oh Jai Jai Harinam. Oh glories to you, Harinam. Oh glories to you. Who? Akilo Gurutap. Akila means the entirety of Ugratap, of intense suffering. Nashkoro, you destroy that. Helagane, even if that person, even if someone sings you, hela means indifferently or like without what's the word? Negligently. Also, hela means negligently. E Boro Pratap, this is your great power. Pratap, right? Pratap's like power or potency, pratap, prowess, glory, dignity, majesty, power, ardor. Yeah, this is your glory, majesty, power. Yeah, this is your prowess, pratap. This is the greatness of this Harinam. Okay, and now we'll look at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song for this, and then we'll end our program for today. It's a beautiful song. One of my favorite recordings of Gaurasundar Prabhu, the Kirtaniya Gaurasundar Prabhu in Hawaii, is a recording of him singing this song. Oh God, you have to hear the recording. It's so sweet. Jaya Jaya Hari Nam. He sings it at Haridas Thakur's Samadhi. I think I was there. It's 2004 in Haridas Thakur's, or no, at Siddhapukul it was. So, Jaya Jaya Hari Nam Chidanandamritadam Paratattva Akshara Akar. All glories to Harinam, the abode of the nectar of divine knowledge and bliss, and the supreme truth and the form of syllables. You're the absolute truth. You are the Paratattva in Akshar Akar, in the form of syllables. Nija jane kripa kori anam rupe avatari jibe daya korile apar. Out of mercy for his devotees, he descended in the form of his names, and thus showed vast compassion to all the living beings. Jaya Hare Krishna Nam Ajagajana Suveshram Asarva Jana Manasaranjana. All glories to the holy names of Hari and Krishna, which are the sublime shelter for the living entities of the worlds and which delight the minds of all. Muni Vrinda Nirantar Jena Mera Samadar Kori Gai Bhori Avadana Kori Gai Bhori Avadana. Hosts of great sages who have true honor for these names eternally sing them, filling their mouths with Nam. O he Krishna Namakar Tumi Sarva Shakti Dhar Jiver Kalyana Vitarane. O syllables of Krishna's name, you possess all powers to bestow auspiciousness upon the living beings. Toma bina bhava sindhu udharite nahi bandhu Ashiya jiva yudharane Ashiya jiva yudharane. Without you, there is no other friend to deliver us from the ocean of material existence. Indeed, you have come to deliver all jivas. Achetap jive jato tumi sab koro hata helaya tomare ekabara dake jadi konjan hoye dinaya kinchan nahi deki anya pratikar nahi deki anya pratikar. You dispel whatever misery afflicts the jiva if he, feeling himself poor and insignificant, and seeing no other remedy, calls out your name one time, even out of impulse. And Atava swalpa spurti pai, ugrata padure jai, linga bhanga hoya nayase. Bhakti Vinoda Koi, Jai Hari Nama Jai, Pore Thaki Tua Padayashe, Pore Thaki Tua Padayashe. If one obtains even a momentary vision of you, then all sorts of terrible miseries disappear, and one's gross and subtle bodies are easily destroyed. I'm wondering about the word linga because I'll get back to that. Bhakti Vinod says, all glories to the holy names of Sri Hari. I prostrate myself in hopes of attaining your lotus feet. Yeah, so recently, in Kalyana Kalpataru, in both sections, in the Upadesh section and in the Upalabdhi section, this word linga, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used it as meaning like our upadhis, like our what do you say? Um, our temporary material designations. Yeah, so it might be that also. All different kinds of upadhis, all that will just be destroyed and will be situated in our sarup, which I guess is also refers to the gross and subtle bodies, because that is, our subtle body is also has that ego and having these temporary designations. Designation, that's the word I was looking for. Anyhow, okay, so that's our program for today. Oh my God, it's already 8:08. Okay, let's just quickly end. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. My voice is a little bit strange right now. Okay. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Param Guru Dev Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Shiksashtak Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupa Goswami's Namashtak Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhajana-rahasya Ki Jai. Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagat Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha. Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams Niri Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji Nitai Mukesh ji Sharan Prada Prabhu Yashoda Didi Yashoda Mataji Vidya Lalasa Didi Ganga Mataji Champak Mataji and all the other devotees watching. I don't know who's there. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. But Dandavat Pranams. Also pranams to all devotees watching in the future like Shachi Devi and Jayadev Prabhu and Revati Didi. Thank you so much for joining. See you all tomorrow to read we'll read about the evidence from Rig Veda on the glories of the holy name on Nam Tattva. And I think it will explain how and Om relates to Hari, Krishna, and Ram, which are the names in the Mahamantra, right? Hare Krishna, right? And also I don't know. We'll read. We'll read all this the rest of the sections. I don't think we'll get to the Leela part, but yeah. All right. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Ram. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream?